what is happening to Malam El-Rufai and Malami, former Attorney General of the Federation? Do you see it as justice, or do you consider it a political persecution by the present administration?
Yes, it is seen by most Nigerians as political prosecution, and the current leadership has clearly made it so, because these are the two shining lights of the ADC as a political party. I think while that of Malami might be seen as being necessary, that of Malam Nasir El-Rufai is unnecessary for him to have been arrested and being molested the way they are going about it. Because I was in Kaduna yesterday, I saw economic activities was completely paralyzed as a result of his court appearance. That was unnecessary because of just one man, and it will not achieve the aim. I think they made a very big mistake. You see, there's a need for people, for them to engage the services of psychologists. There are people that when you arrest them, you can make them do whatever you want. And there are some that it is not arrest. And in the case of Malam Nasir El-Rufai, arresting Malam Nasir El-Rufai will only make him to be stronger and more committed towards fighting for what he believes. But for Malami is not. You see, you have to understand the people. El-Rufai's case, there's a different thing that should have been done to him. You will render him useless. But arresting him, you make him stronger. Malami, yes, they will get what they want. Malami is a weak man. And that was why he did what he did. Weak men, when they have opportunity, they overstep their boundaries, and they misbehave anyhow, accumulate in a way that accumulate things they don't need. And that was what exactly Malami did. Of course, there's a need for Malami to be persecuted. He's not even supposed to be living freely.
Executed or prosecuted?
Prosecuted, thank you. Prosecuted. He's not supposed to be living freely because he abused the law very well. So far more. But in the case of El-Rufai, it's a totally different thing. So there are two different people. And El-Rufai, if he is being prosecuted, no, he is being persecuted now. And why Malami is being prosecuted? Because you know all the charges, I read the 10 charges. There's no substance. There was no substance in everything that was brought against Malam Nasir El-Rufai. But in the case of Malami, see the properties scattered all over the world. See the properties. What will a single human being do with all these properties? He doesn't need it, and such people should not be allowed like that. So, but what's the intention behind it? It's because if he had remained in APC, he would not be facing this. So, El-Rufai, for example, you see, politics, strategy, especially in this part of the world, can make you win election, even when people don't really like you. If you pick Konkoso, you destabilize completely the ADC. There are people that once you arrest them, you get what you want. And there are people that you call them, you plead with them. El-Rufai, all this is showing strength. If those people like that, you can beg them. The president is not an ordinary person. If the president will continue to beg him, you don't fight people like that. But for Konkoso, just arrest him. Once you arrest him, bring all the charges. Of course, you cannot be governor in Nigeria without having one or two things that you must have done wrong. Once you take him to court, within 2-3 days, he will step down. So there are strategies that will work, and this government, at the end of the day again, they will have what they want. But it's not all the people you continue to arrest. Okay, now as ordinary as I am, if you arrest me, you are wasting your time. As at the time, on the day those boys went to molest me and beat me, I knew they were around. I saw them, and I knew they were going to do what they did. But after calculating what I intend to achieve and the loss I will encounter, that okay, they will enjoy you, do all of these things. I say, okay, let me continue. If you arrest me, I feel happy while in detention, because it's that kind of life I like, I enjoy living. So now, what will you achieve if you arrest me? So El-Rufai is like that.
Does El-Rufai deserve sympathy? He was part of this government, or he's among those that made this government, and he spoke glowingly of this government until now. Do you think he deserves sympathy?
From Nigerians, he does not deserve sympathy. That's the truth of the matter. But for those of us who know him and the role he played for this government and the emergence of his successor, Obasani, you will have to pity him. He suffered. Before he was elected as governor, some few days before he became governor, I was in his house. He came. I was with his son. When he came, he was so tired and he needed to leave for Abuja again. I saw the way he was suffering. It was the same thing he did for Obasani to become governor. But look at how Obasani is paying him based on that. But for what he did as governor and the way he carried out governance, he does not, and the way he supported President Tinubu, saying good things that Tinubu, he stood firm. He doesn't deserve. But when you look at, on the other hand, that the kind of betrayal he has faced from close friends is the reason why I said, no, he doesn't deserve that. Because close friends that he sacrificed virtually everything for them, especially the governor of Kaduna State.
What do you think? People say it looks as if it's karma that has come back to haunt him, because during his days as governor, people argue that he demolished houses, quarreled with traditional rulers, and allegedly polarized the state. So for some persons, it's karma at work.
No, sometimes a good leader needs to step on toes. These traditional rulers we are talking about, they are majority of them are after their interest. So when you don't step on their toes, the state cannot move forward. Yes, there are houses that are actually supposed to be demolished. The only area I fault Nasir El-Rufai, because if I have opportunity, I'll do the same thing he did, but with compassion. Yes, you see, people just build houses anyhow. I live in Kaduna State, where they build houses anyhow. They don't consider the safety at all. They build houses, begin to wonder if these people are human beings. Those houses, actually, the majority are supposed to be demolished. The only area where our compassion will play in is that for those who are stark illiterates, who don't even understand anything, and they lack exposure, and they were not properly guided. Also, they have their papers. So, and they are poor people. Out of compassion, you give them another place to go and build, and you demolish the place. But in his own case, usually he finds out you don't have the papers, and no matter how poor you are, he doesn't care. He will demolish, and if you like, you go to court, it's your business. No, governance is about the welfare of the people. You have to take that into consideration. You don't have to punish people, because you have to enlighten them before you can carry out whatever you want to. So El-Rufai did certain things that he stamped his authority, and that is very necessary. Like in the case of his successor now, he's a weak man. He just wants to satisfy everyone. You don't satisfy the people, especially this part of the world where we don't want the right thing to be done. You don't satisfy this kind of people. You have to stamp your authority. Let the right thing be done, not what will make them to be happy. Now, you can see, even on the road, okay, people misbehave anyhow. They jam pack the road, hold up everywhere, because they know that nothing will happen. You don't do that. Yes, there are places in Kaduna before that usually they come on the road while they protest and kill people. There was a certain time Nasir El-Rufai was coming. They were protesting, he came down. And he told them, he swore by God Almighty that if you come out again to block this federal road, I will demolish all the houses there. As I speak to you up till this moment, no single protest from that day till this morning that we are speaking. So that is the kind of leader that is in there. You don't have to pamper the people, do the right thing, but what he needs to learn is there should be compassion. There was no compassion in what he was doing, and that is why a lot of people are angry with him. But there was sanity. There was a time that the Azazaki people will be moving. They completely take over a whole lane. So even if you have emergency, you cannot go. But when they have started again, because he's no longer the governor, because they know that the current governor of Kaduna State is a weak man, who try to please everybody because he wants to be re-elected. So that's not the kind of leader you need. El-Rufai, with all his flaws, I will choose El-Rufai 1,000 times over Obasani.
Now, if you say governance is all about the welfare of the people, and you've defended some of the actions of El-Rufai to be firm and all of that, can you also praise and defend Tinubu for some of his actions, which they say is also in the interest of Nigerians?
No, you see, it is, in the case of Tinubu, his handlers are the ones saying it is in the interest of Nigerians. But we Nigerians are not, feeling okay. There's nothing we are enjoying in this government. For example, if he had removed, just like he removed subsidy, and then it tells us that, okay, you need to make sacrifice, and we see that the health system is working, quality education in the country, security for lives and properties. Even if we start paying 3,000 naira per liter, I'll say yes, we are making sacrifice. At least the result is there to show for it, that our younger ones can go to school, maybe the primary, secondary school, for free, quality education, and they are being fed even in school. You see, like, millions of boys and girls are roaming the streets in the north. They are begging, and nobody sees that as anything. So if, for example, after removing a fuel subsidy, we see these boys across the country are back to school, safety for lives and properties, we say yes, it is worth it. But now the government is borrowing. Subsidy has been removed. So of what use is the removal of the subsidy? So it would be better the subsidy is paid so that we buy fuel at subsidized rate. So we are not benefiting anything. I just told in the case of El-Rufai, when he did that, now there was protection of lives and property, still on that highway where people were always killed. A colonel was killed at a time. A colonel. We all human beings are the same, but the respect needs to be given to certain categories of people because of their sacrifice. A colonel is not an ordinary human being. So a colonel was killed on that road. People lose their lives. You see, you have vagabonds. Once they are angry, they come on the road. They just they begin to separate people who maybe based on their ethnicity or what they believe, and kill some, leave some. That should not be the case. El-Rufai stopped them completely, and so that is the kind of leadership I'm talking about. Let the results show for it.
Okay, if El-Rufai, for the sake of argument, if El-Rufai is jailed today or otherwise, will they not mourn him or celebrate him?
I was in Kaduna yesterday in the morning to see for myself. They are making El-Rufai more popular. And as it is now, he seems to be the leader of the North after the demise of Buhari now. And that is what this government is has succeeded in making Nasir El-Rufai. Of course, I know El-Rufai, I know his family very well. His son in the House of Reps is my friend. I know them. That boy will never mobilize people to come, give people money to come out. I know him, he won't give money. So now those people came out. The whole of that premises, they were chanting, say Mala, say Malam, and that they say, God will bring you out. You are making him more popular. So now they will mourn him, and it's going to be almost impossible to even jail him because they have not tidied their work very well. So it's almost impossible to jail him. The best would be for them to quickly release him. But for Malami,